Today, Garmin announced what might be the single biggest golf tech product to come out all year. And it is this, the Approach R50. And oh boy, do I have a lot of thoughts on this. Let's talk about it. To set some expectations here, I just got my R50 2 days ago. Kind of out of the blue. Didn't even know it was coming. So I'm very excited, but I have not been able to do a full, thorough review. I have spent a few hours using it, so I'll be able to give some initial thoughts, but this is not my full-fledged official review. That will come in time. I just wanted to get my thoughts out here as quickly as possible on this because I've never used a product kind of like this. This is in a league of its own, and it is really cool. So just to be clear, this is first impressions only, not a full review, but hopefully I'm going to answer a lot of the questions that you probably have about this device. Okay, so first let's answer the obvious question you might be having is, what is the Garmin Approach R50? Well, about 4 years ago, as you probably know, Garmin released this. This is the Approach R10. It was a $600 launch monitor that completely changed the game. It had full simulator access, it had club data, it had all of these things that were unheard of to get at a $600 price point. And it was one of the biggest golf tech products that came out that year. It was sold out for months, it was very hard to get, and even now, years later, it's still one of the best affordable launch monitors on the market. Well, for almost 3 years now, there has been rumors that following the success of the R10, Garmin was working on something new. The rumors were that it was working on a more professional launch monitor, something with a high-speed camera-based system, something with a simulator built in, something that was going to be more accurate, and nobody really knew if they were actually working on it or not. Well, let me spoil it for you. They were. And it came in the form of this. It is the world's first launch monitor and simulator built into one. So what does that mean? It means you turn this on, you use the 3-camera system to get 15 advanced ball and club metrics that are accurately measured and are far more accurate than what you get with the small Doppler radar-based R10. But not just that, plenty of launch monitors can do that. This has a 10-inch screen built in, which should give you a little bit of an idea of the size of this thing because it essentially has an iPad for a screen. But there is a simulator built in. So you can use an updated version of Garmin's Home T Hero on 43,000 courses, all just using this. So if you don't have a projector, if you want to be able to go to the range and play simulated rounds and not have to set up an iPad or do it on your phone, you can do everything, and this is all you need. And I'm not going to lie, it works way better than I expected it to. But we'll get to that more in a second. First, let's talk some of my first initial impressions upon taking this out of the box, because there was 2 things that really surprised me that I was not anticipating. The first is the size. This thing is huge. I mean, not like unwieldy, hard to use huge, it's just very large. Like when you compare it to a Bushnell Launch Pro, it kind of dwarfs it. Like the Launch Pro is a fairly substantial device. Well, this is much bigger, and so I was not prepared for just how big it was going to be. That being said, the design of it works really well because it's not necessarily much heavier than a Launch Pro, and the fact that it's got this built-in handle right here means it's actually super easy to carry around. And that brings us to the second first impression I had on the R50, which is this, the case. I love the fact this comes with a case. Not only does it come with a case, it comes with the most robust case you could ever imagine. It's got a great shoulder strap, it's got extra pockets on the front, it's got a pocket on the back for the power cord. It's not quite Pelican case territory, it's not a hard shell case, but this thing is beefy. You put the R50 in this, it's gonna be safe. The only launch monitor I have used that comes with anything even close to this is the Unicore iMini, and I would say these are probably on par in terms of build quality, aesthetics, cool factor. You get this and you're like, yeah, this is every bit of the $5,000 it costs, or $4,999. This is not a cheap launch monitor, but so far with my experience, you definitely get what you pay for. It's tough with this because I'm not trying to do a review per se. I don't want to start talking about all these positive things until I've been able to test it more, but I'm not gonna lie, it's cool. And my experience with it has been really good so far. I do still have a lot of questions I haven't quite been able to get answers to, so I'm going to cover those in the full review, but I also want to mention it now. You probably have questions too, so keep watching the video. I might answer some of them, but also drop a comment. If there's anything you want to know, I will do my best to answer every single one, because I know since this this was just launched, there's not a whole lot of information out there, and I want to do my best to help you however I can if this is something you are considering buying. Hey, real quick, are you finding this useful? Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss my full review when it comes out soon. I will be doing all sorts of R50 content to make sure I answer every question you could possibly have about this device. So hit subscribe and let's get back to the first impressions. Okay, so first impressions, it's big, it comes with a spectacular case. Now let's talk about what happens when I turn it on, and it just keeps getting better. You turn it on, it boots up very, very quickly, and the fact it has a full 10-inch screen means you can type on it very easy. It means you can swipe. Like, everything is so easy to navigate, and that carries over into the setup process. I feel like it might be an overstatement to say this is the easiest setup I've ever had on a launch monitor, but I can't think of one that's been any easier, smoother, or better. So you go in, you connect it to your Wi-Fi network, which is made really easy considering there's a full keyboard, so you type in your password, it connects right away. You log into your Garmin account, and it has all of the data you have already got saved there. So if you use a Garmin product and you've already set up your golf bag in there, it immediately is already on the R50, and that worked flawlessly for me. As I was going through this, I think one of the biggest takeaways I've had from the R50 so far is just how responsive this screen is. So many of us are used to using iPads or iPhones, which are just about as responsive as it gets, that often when we go to another product, things can just feel a little bit laggy and not quite that same experience. Not the case here. Everything about this is super responsive. The moment you swipe, the moment you press, the moment you touch, everything responds right away, and it feels beautiful. That's one of the things I was worried about, where it's like if you're really relying on this screen to do everything, if it doesn't work very well, then you're not going to want to use it and you're going to get frustrated and it's kind of a non-starter. But fortunately, they nailed this part of it, and so using it has been an absolute breeze. Once you turn it on, you log in, you basically have three options. You have practice, you have home T hero, and you have third party. So practice is exactly what you would expect. It's a driving range where you can go and practice whatever you want in your game. There are 4 different driving ranges to kind of mix up the aesthetics. Home T hero is the built-in simulator mode, so it's not a full-on golf simulator in terms of graphics, but this is an updated, more robust version than the one that you may have used on the R10, and honestly, it looks great. More so than I ever felt using the R10 or using the Rapsodo MLM courses feature, which is similar. This does feel like playing a simulated round of golf. Everything is responsive, the graphics are better, and the user experience is everything you would hope that it would be for a product that markets itself as a launch monitor and a simulator all in one. And so the third mode you have is third party. So this is compatible with E6 Connect, GS Pro, and Awesome Golf right out of the box. I have not been able to test it with this, and I don't know if this is going to work with those apps directly on the screen, or if you're going to need an external screen to do that. That's one of the questions I still have, but I will let you know how that works once I have an answer to it in my next video. As I mentioned, this device includes both club and ball metrics, so there are 15 of them that I'm going to put on the screen right now rather than just read them all off to you. Considering it's a high-speed camera-based system, everything should be very accurate. I've not used this enough or done much testing to really give you my thoughts on accuracy, other than to say that so far everything seems pretty dead on. I mentioned the responsiveness of the screen, which is great. That's kind of a good starting point, but if the rest of the user interface isn't very good, then that's also going to be a problem. Fortunately, this thing is super easy to navigate and it's super easy to customize. That's been one of my complaints with some other pieces of software, where it's like if I want to see certain metrics or certain screens, I'm not always able to do that. Well, with this, you can pretty much set it up to see whatever you want to see or don't want to see. If I want to see a shot tracer of me at the range, and next to it, I want to see all of my club path data, I can do that. If I want to see my club path data and I want to see a high-speed impact camera of every shot and the ball at impact, I can do that. If I want to see the range and all of my metrics, I can do that. If I just want to see all of the metrics at one time, I can do that. So being able to customize and use that split screen feature is really handy. To take this a step further, if you were using some sort of external display like a projector or a TV, you can customize what is shown on the screen and what is shown on the device itself. So if you want to see your simulator on the screen, but you want to see all of your club data on the launch monitor itself, you can do that. That's one of the benefits of having such a big, beautiful built-in screen. I can safely say there is no launch monitor I have used that comes anywhere even close to the quality of built-in screen this has. And so if that's been something you've been looking for, you want professional, and you don't want to deal with a gaming PC or an iPad or having to pair with your phone, That's where this thing shines. One thing I'm still not sure about is what sort of app capabilities this is going to have. I assume you're going to be able to hook it up one way or another to the Garmin Golf app, but I don't know how that works. I don't know if you're going to be able to mirror the screen directly onto an iPad so that you can use AirPlay. Most of what I've talked about and what I've experimented with is just using a direct HDMI connection into my TV or into a projector, and that works great, but I don't know what sort of options we're going to have on top of that. As far as the back and what ports you have available to you, it's pretty basic. You've got a little door here, which is nice little touch. But other than that, you've got 3 connections. You have USB-C port, you have an HDMI port, and you have a power port. So the fact they've kept it so basic, so user-friendly is something that I really enjoy. Some launch monitors can just really be challenging to set up, and there is nothing challenging about this. It's just very user-friendly right away. Hey, not sure if the R50 is right for you or something else? Go take our 30-second quiz. You're gonna tell me a little bit about what you were looking for in a golf launch monitor, and I will tell you exactly what I think you should get based on your needs. You can click on that link below while you're watching the rest of this video. Okay, back to it. So based on my first impressions, who is this for? Who's the person that's buying this? Well, I think there's a lot of different people that are going to be interested in it. So first off, it's almost $5,000, so it's not cheap. It's not going to be for everyone. This is a professional level product, but it's solving an issue that I've heard from many of you that you have. I've found a lot of people that would love a simulator experience, but they don't have the room to do it. Maybe they have a backyard with a net, but they don't have space for the projector. They don't have the money for a gaming PC. This kind of solves that. It's the first device I've used where it's actually enjoyable to play simulator golf without having a full simulator setup. So the fact the screen is as large as it is, the way it's positioned, the graphics, everything about it, I hit my shot, I look down, I see everything I need to see. The fact I get all of that in a very portable unit and I can have this set up in seconds, take it to the range, like that's super cool and super convenient. Plus the fact that you've got extra options when you do hook it up to a projector to get that data on the screen there as well as projected. You know, it just gives you some flexibility that most other devices don't provide. To kind of go along with that, I've never had a launch monitor where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna like take it over to my friend's house. We're gonna play some simulated golf. Like there's too many apps to deal with or too much setup or it's like not enough, like it's always just too much. This, the other night, I took it to my sister's place. We stuck it in the backyard and we just started hitting balls. And it tracked everything great, and it worked, and it was just easy. So if you want a truly portable simulator setup without having to deal with anything else, this is capable of that. Now, it's not gonna be for everyone. Some people are like, if I don't have the whole screen and like the actual thing, it's not worth it. And I get that. But other people might like the versatility that it provides, especially considering there is nothing else out there that provides that level of versatility. So all that to say, my experience so far with this has exceeded very high expectations. Now, I didn't really know much about the device. I didn't know exactly how it was gonna work. So getting it, using it, experiencing it, you know, and seeing that it is truly unlike anything else out there really caught me by surprise. I mean, I'd heard rumors about the R50, but I expected it just to be another high-end photometric launch monitor. I didn't expect the built-in simulator. I didn't expect the 10-inch screen, and I didn't expect it to work so well and so seamlessly and frankly be so much fun. But like I said, this is not a full review, so I'm gonna spend a whole lot more time with it. I'm going to go put it up against a TrackMan. We're gonna see how accurate it is. I'm gonna really get into the nitty-gritty of all the details and all the settings. But as far as first impressions go, I said at the beginning of this might be the biggest golf tech product to come out this year, and I think it is. I mean it. I have not seen anything like this come out in the last 12 months, or maybe even longer, that is as interesting and as compelling as this. And given how much competition there is in this launch monitor space, I think a lot of competitors have reason to be worried because this thing provides a lot. It's pretty cool. So we'll see what the accuracy looks like. We'll see if there's any hidden fee subscriptions. We'll see how it works indoors versus outdoors. We're gonna get some answers to some of these questions, but on the surface so far, this thing is every bit as good as what I hoped it would be, and I'm really excited to find out more. So if you have questions about any of this, drop a comment below. I will do my very best to answer it. And if you're already sold, if you're like, this is what I've been waiting for, I can't wait to go get it, I recommend you do so through playbetter.com. They are fantastic. They have pretty much everything you could ever need when it comes to golf tech products, including the Approach R50. So if you click the link below, I will get an affiliate commission, but it allows me to continue to do videos like this. So if you found it useful, you want to support the channel, buying it through them really helps me out a ton. And while I know they will be too, I will also be very happy to answer any questions you have to try and help you get set up to make sure you make the most of your device. With that, my name is Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products and cool golf courses. I will make sure to link to my full review right here as soon as it is ready. I will also link to that below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure you go do that so that you don't miss my full review. I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.